Looks like everything is running. Let's get my iPad in place. Hold on. There we go. I had it plugged in. Just realized. Probably would have been a lot more obvious if I just paid attention to the beginning. Okay. Let's get her powered up here. And make sure I do not enjoy what the latest update has done to the iPad. What a non-surprise that Apple has made it look worse. It's kind of just Apple's thing now. Rather than make things look better, they just make them look worse. Okay. Audio looks good. Did I get my alerts? Yes, and my phone is muted, which was a good idea on my part. I remembered to do it. Let me move my chair upwards. Sorry. There we go. God, it's actually warm in here. Incredibly, it is warm in this house. Anyway. Okay, let's get this hooked up. And we will say, go here. And you know what? I am going to actually turn the fan on over my head. Why not? It is warm. I'm going to turn the fan on. Fan. Let me see how. It doesn't have to be on full blast. So let me just see here. Is this the fan part? Yeah, I can turn it down. Yeah, that's probably good. Low's good. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. All right, so I can see my screen. Let's boot this up. Where is... What do I want to work on? There it is. Okay. All right, let's make sure that Let's View is linked properly. And it is. Let's go to Social Stream. Should be fine now. It's been running long enough. And there it is. Activate, please. Thank you. Let's make sure I am on the correct output. I am. Let's go to this thing and activate. All right. Looks good. Let's make sure the window... Oh, I have to click the button first. Let me click this button, see if we hear sound. We did. Let's now make the window... sure, save. Let's go to dashboard. There we are. We can make that visible. Let's do our testing. So we will say TEST1. Hold on. And it is visible, therefore this window can be closed. We can come over here and we can say test number 2. Oop, hold on. And why don't I see it? Where am I? Ah, there's number 2. Good, I can close this window. I do need to... I did forget to make my post here, so hold on a second. Close this window. Let's go to here. Would be under this. And we would double click this. Yeah, got it. We got it. Thanks. And double click that and go here and here. And we will do a quick paste. Do a share on that. And of course, I just realized that I did not put any of the stuff into Discord. I'm going to be looking at a Discord alternative because I do not trust this company anymore after their stupid age verification nonsense. So I'm going to look at something called, I think it's called Fluxer. Looks really interesting. I mean, it's basically a Discord clone, but it's open source and looks close enough that I think I will be fine moving to that. Hold on, let's do this and enter, and this and enter, and this and enter. Whoa, oh geez, I didn't know what I was looking at for a minute there. Looked like something really, really different when I looked at it quickly. It in fact was, whoa, that is a beautiful piece of artwork. Holy cow. Wow. Man, look at that. Amazing artists around, really. Okay, didn't even see that before. Okay. It's from Discord. I'm in so many that it's so easy to miss things. Whoops. No, not General Archive. What is this? Oh, it should be up into... Where's... General Art... What? General Archive. Oh, you don't have permission to send messages. I'm not trying to send a message. I'm just trying to... Where is General? Huh. Weird. Okay, put it off topic then. I don't care. There it is. All right. Okay, so I can now close this. I don't know what they did in that Discord. I'm probably gonna leave that one soon anyway. All right. Close or quit this. Okay, I think everything's good. Let's go ahead and let's view as yes, it is. Okay, perfect. Let's do intro. Turn this off. Oh, I didn't do my third test. Sorry. Hold on. I could do that right now while this is loading. That worked. Good. Perfect. All right. So we'll switch to participants, and this way I've got this here. And sweet. Okay. All right, everybody. Sorry for the... Oh, wow. Only 5 minutes 46. That's actually a lot better than I thought it was going to be. Anyway, let's turn the background on this. We're still working on our cyberhead here. I realized I know what I want to do here with these dark areas. I actually want to turn these into shadows. I thought of that earlier today, actually. So I got to find these. Where are these? They're not there. Probably here. Yep. Okay, so we got to do... Is there something on this? Yes. All right, this is an assist layer. Ooh, interesting. You know what? I can probably use that. I could use that layer. We don't have to do a new layer for this. Let's get this. And what we're going to do is we're going to... How big is this? Oh, that's not bad. That's actually fine. And we're going to do this. Color in. And actually, I want to curve it a little bit. So like that. And then we'll curve this in like that. And we're just going to do some... Because I just don't like it just as those big black blobs just don't look right to me. So I'm going to create a little bit of some depth there, you know, just like that. And then I think it's going to be better. I probably should curve it at the top too, just to keep that from being this just really weird squared off thing, you know. It just doesn't look right to me. So I'd rather do something like this and just curve it like that. Yeah. See, that's already, just looking at it, that's way better. So we'll just curve this in like this. Bring it and go across. Gives it a little shadow on the top. Okay, good. I was going to say, please tell me. I thought I had the assist on, but just checking. Yeah, so this is a better idea. I like this better. I was going back. I just did not like it as it was. So this way, it's just going to make it look... It'll look nicer. It just is going to look nicer than this here. Which, just based on the fact that I made this change, probably means this isn't going to get finished in this stream either. Because, you know, I always have this foolish idea that, oh, I'm almost done. Then I think of something to add, and sure enough, that's just going to add time and work, because I don't work quickly. Okay, hold on a minute. Let's swirl that. Come on. Why is that fighting me so much? It should be really easy just to kind of curve this, bring it across. Of course, now I have to come over here because I zoomed in too much. And there. Okay. And then we'll just do this and come down and then shave that around and move that. Oh boy, that's ugly, but fortunately it's very easy to fix because this is all going to get blacked out anyway, so I could just come like this. There we go. So who cares? Line doesn't have to be straight. What was I thinking about earlier? I was thinking about the idea of being able to draw things without having to think about them too much. I don't remember what got me on this thinking. There was something that I think I watched a video and somebody was talking about the idea of drawing from imagination. And you know what? I wonder if I should curve it. I guess I should curve it on this end too. Now that I look at it. Actually, no. You know what? I don't mind it like that. It can look like it's going under the neck muscle. That's perfectly fine. But I was thinking about drawing from repetition and things I could draw. And there aren't many. There aren't, you know, some artists... Oh, that's what it was. I was thinking about the painting I did of the puzzle box from the Hellraiser films. And there's a lot of detail work in that. And it's honestly because I used, for the actual interiors of the box, I So I say somewhat because the transfer didn't work all that well. But I was using, I should say I was attempting to use, that line is really ugly. Hold on, I gotta fix that. Nice. There we go. I was attempting to use white carbon paper, which I've had. My wife picked it up for me because I had asked her to get carbon paper when she went to a craft store. And she wasn't sure, I wasn't really specific, which is a good thing in this case because I probably would never have said get white because I've never used white transfer paper before. I never had a reason to. But she ended up getting one I don't know, sheet. No, it's not. It's more. Well, I guess it is one big sheet. One sheet of this white transfer paper. And when I went to do the puzzle box, I thought, oh, the white will work because it's on a dark background. This should work perfectly. Well, let me tell you something. Transfer paper, at least the carbon that I got, does not enjoy being on acrylic paint. It barely was visible. I'm not going to say it wasn't visible at all. It was a good guide. But what I ended up really having to do was I had this large printout of the box to get the proportions right when I did the outline, which I still managed to screw up, but luckily it didn't matter. And so I just literally held it up. And I had to kind of eyeball it along with what bit of the transfer I could see, which was not a lot, but it was enough. It was enough to make sure I didn't go wildly off in terms of size and spacing and all that stuff. It was just enough that it managed to keep it from getting out of control. So it worked out. And like I said, that white paper still did save me because without that, I would have had to totally eyeball it. And I'm pretty sure it would not have looked that good. As it was, it came out pretty well. But I was thinking about, because somebody said, oh, wow, you got the detail really. I'm like, yeah, that's not because I knew it. I didn't have it memorized. I didn't just freehand the whole thing. I had to do it. But there are things that I, like a Ninja Turtle. Like I can pretty quickly knock out a Ninja Turtle's face because I've drawn the Ninja Turtles so much for so much of my life that it really is like a no effort thing to knock out. I could do the entire Ninja Turtle if I really wanted to with it looking like the original comics version. And it's not hard. I don't even have to really think about it. I'm not even really paying attention to what I'm doing here. I just know how to make it look because I've drawn the turtles so many times. So it's pretty simple to make it look the way I want it to. Again, going off of not the cartoon or anything, but the original comics where the Ninja Turtles had this specific look. Like I could do that without even really having to think about it. Even down to the shading, like the shading and all that stuff. And, you're gonna probably have like a little things coming off of here dramatically, and then I could get into the actual shell. Like I could do this very, very quickly and have it look basically very close to, like I said, I mean, that's took me, 10 seconds? Or maybe like 30. But the only reason is because I've drawn the turtles all my life. Since I really remember intentionally drawing, I have drawn the Ninja Turtles. The only reason I can do that. It's not because I really have a firm mastery of proportion or anything. And even there, I think I made what I'll call the nose a little bit more pointy than I usually do. That's because I was kind of going quick. In fact, I'm erasing it like this. I should just use the paint thing. There we go. But that's so like the box from Hellraiser. I could not draw that at all from memory. I would have to have some kind of assistive thing. But I will be honest, I was pretty happy with the fact that I could eyeball it. Don't get me wrong, the design was right there. I was referencing the design, but I was able to do it pretty well. And I was nervous about it because I've never tried to do that. I'm not a technical artist. I don't draw. I'm not Jeff Darrow. I cannot just conjure, deeply mechanical things and have them look right. And even though the puzzle box is not strictly a mechanical device, it does have that very, very detailed inlay on the front of it. And that's not something that I typically do. So I really wasn't sure if it was going to work at all, to be honest. Oh, I missed some of I didn't put this coming up like this and that. So yeah, I got very lucky. It worked out. Or it is, I will give myself, which I don't often do. If you've seen these streams, you know this is not something I typically say. But I will grant myself the possibility of this, that maybe at this point in my life, I have developed enough of a drawing skill that I was able to do it. Now, I don't think it's really that. I think it's a combination of things. I don't want to give myself too much credit on that because I don't. But yeah, that looks already better than just the lines the way they were. But it came out really. The more I look at that Hellraiser painting, the more I like it, and I have determined that I'm going to do another one based on the Hellraiser 2022 sequel / remake / reboot / whatever, and use that box. Same type of painting in its basicness, in the basic forms. Although I'm going to do, instead of hard straight lines, I'm going to do curved lines. I actually ordered some pinstriping tape, and that will be coming, I think, tomorrow. Which I've never used before, but it's made to curve a lot more than the normal tape is. So that's the idea. I'm just looking at this for a minute. I think I like it. I'm just looking at it. Actually, I'm looking away from it for a minute before I look back at it and see if it's what I want it to be. But I'm pretty sure. I think it's where I want it to be. Yeah. So, okay. Sorry. Okay, got it. Oh, why did that do that? Sorry, I was just adjusting something on my system in the background because I noticed it didn't look quite right. For whatever reason, when I adjusted it, it still didn't look quite right, although it didn't look quite right in a different way. Anyway, that doesn't mean anything, so let's get back to this. Okay. So yeah, I don't know. The important thing, however it happened, the thing, because I almost, did I talk about this on the last stream? I may have. I almost tanked the thing. I made this one error. And the only reason that the whole painting wasn't a loss, and it would have been, and this was right at the end, because it was gold paint, and there's just no way that you wouldn't have been able to see it. But fortunately, because it was acrylic, I'm going to drink of water really quick. Because it was acrylic, I very quickly was able to basically erase. I took a pencil with an old just rubber eraser, dipped it in a little bit of water, and I was able to just erase it off because acrylic and water do not, it just evaporates it. And since I did it right away, if I'd waited even a few minutes, that would have been it. And I could not have recreated the red because there was too much on top of it. So I was really happy. You can still, if you were to see it physically and you were to look close, you would see it. But it's so minimal for the painting overall that I don't care. Thirsty. So I was, oh boy, I had a bad 15 seconds where I really thought I've just destroyed this painting. And then I remembered, I'm like, no, this is not oil. I can actually, quote unquote, erase it. I mean, you're not really erasing it. Like I said, you can see the slight residue of it. But fortunately, because I had only barely made a mark and it was acrylic paint, water-based, I was able to do a water removal. So it saved the, and I'm not kidding when I say that happened at the tail end of the painting. It was the last few details I was putting in when that happened. And I really thought that I destroyed the painting. I thought that was it. That's it. I've killed it. Fortunately, didn't kill it. It survived. Which I am delighted was the case, because I really wasn't sure for a minute there. I really wasn't. But it worked out. It worked out. And yeah, I was looking at that painting just a little while ago, and boy, oh boy, I do like that painting. Not something I say typically about my stuff, but I do like that painting. I do, and I'm curious. The hard part now is the reboot box It is very. I am having trouble finding schematics. I did find somebody who had a 3D printed pattern for it, and I'm hoping I can use that to figure out how to that I can extract a usable reference point for it. Because I gotta tell you, nobody has that box, that new redesign. Which, pardon me, I think is a beautiful redesign. So I'm not really sure why. So, but I like it. It's different, it's interesting, it's intricate, but it still has enough, not to mention that there were multiples of the boxes in the original movie, so you really could just say, oh, this is just another one, and it absolutely would fit fine in the canon of the films. But I was, yeah, I'm surprised that more people, because that's 2022, it's 4 years ago now. I'm shocked that there aren't more, that somebody hasn't made a schematic type of thing for it like the other box. The original box, you can find designs for that everywhere where people have the artwork and all that stuff, but not the new one, which is, I have to admit, somewhat surprising to me. Not even somewhat, it is surprising to me. You know, unless I'm not searching for it right, I don't think it has a unique name. I mean, literally, I just put Hellraiser 2022 box schematic and a couple of variations on it. And, well, I'm going to look again. I'm just going to look. What if I searched wrong or something, but I don't think so. Let me look here. Sorry, let me zoom out so you can see this. So it's not completely boring. Yeah, so if I go here, and I go here, you know what? Let's just see something. Just in case, even though I seriously doubt this is what it is, right? Okay, so here we go. Hellraiser 2022 puzzle box. Here we go. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, this is people comparing. Let's go to images and let's see. Does anybody have a good straight-on shot of that box? And so far, no. Yeah, I'm looking, and they're all kind of angular, which is not what I need. I need it flat. I need that thing flattened. I mean, that one is close, but it's not detailed enough. Lead concept artist. Yeah, that's not the bot. It doesn't show the front. I need the front. Tons! Oh, no, that's somebody's 3D printed thing. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for an actual image of the box. No, there's nothing. I'm going to have to go float around and look. I'm going to have to go into Reddit and find the Hellraiser Reddit and see if anybody's got it. Sorry about the yawning. Oh, my right eye. Oi. There we go. Okay. But nobody, so far, not finding it anywhere. Nothing. Like I said, there's 3D printed and stuff like that. I saw some that people have made on Etsy, but that's not what I'm looking for. Whereas the original, you can buy really nice copies of the schematics, as a matter of fact. You can get 1 million reproductions of it at all different price levels. I've seen them as cheap as $15 all the way up to $350, $400, $900 for the. There's one solid mahogany with brass etching, blah, 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 and it's like $400, $500. I'm sure it's beautiful. I'm not paying no $400, $500 for it, but it looks nice. I'm sure it is. I don't doubt that there's a lot of involved craftsmanship with that. But as much as I love the Hellraiser box, I ain't paying that kind of money for it. Sorry. When, you know, it's not like... Let's put it this way. I was about to say, it's not like it works. Even if it did, I wasn't going to use it. Not for that. I don't want to summon those things. Pretty box, though. You know, it is. But I certainly am not trying to summon any creatures like that into my life. I'm good. I'm good. I don't need it. I'm good. Thank you. No. Thank you. I don't need any. I don't need to be a traveler on the oceans of experience. I'm good. I'm good. I'm all right. I'm doing okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. But go find somebody who wants to mess with that box. Not me. It ain't gonna be me. I'm not rolling those dice. No, thank you. Frank will tell you, it ain't worth it. Let's see. Yeah, that's going to look so much better. realize my curves are not really good down here the way they should be. They should be more curved like that. There we are. Much better. So where are we at time-wise? Yeah, 25 minutes. Yeah, there's no way. I'll probably get these done. And then I got to figure out what to do with those tubes. But I'll do the bottom little metal thing first. That's easier. And so this thing is not too far from done, but that doesn't mean it's going to be done soon. Being not too far from done and being done soon are very, very different things for me. So we'll see. Okay. Probably can curve this a little bit more like that. Oh, oh, wrong one. Sorry. No, no, no. There we go. Shave that down a bit. That's better. That's better. So, yep. And tonight is the first of our 3 nights of my co-host and I are doing a Black History Month film celebration where we're watching movies that are behind, in front, or both sides of the camera are predominantly either Black individuals in the creative process or, again, in front of the camera. So we're doing 3 films this week. Those 3 films are, and I don't remember the years, but the first one is Blackula. The second one is Bride of Blackenstein. And the final one is Night of the Living Dead, the 1990 remake. Those are the 3, because we're going full Supernatural for this week. Now, don't get me wrong, last week we did Supernatural as well, but it was not as purely Supernatural, or at least not the way... Okay, so last week we did 3 films, and they... Well, I guess the third one is purely supernatural. It was possession by some kind of spirit, although it was never quite clear what it was supposed to be. But the other 2, which were Sugar Hill, 1974 Sugar Hill, very important, because if you just look up Sugar Hill movie, you're going to find the Wesley Snipes movie from 96, I want to say, something like that, 90s, which has nothing to do with the 70s one at all. It's sort of weird they reused the title, but I guess they just assumed most people hadn't seen the original Sugar Hill and didn't care. Or whatever. I don't know. But it's bizarre that they reused that title. In any event, Sugar Hill, the 74 movie, is about a woman who has her boyfriend is killed, and so she decides to invoke the power of voodoo. A voodoo priest, I believe, would be the proper classification. Well, sorry. She goes to a voodoo priestess to summon a voodoo spirit and or priest. He's called Baron Samedi, or Samdi, depending on how you pronounce it. I think the movie actually pronounces it 2 different ways. But in any event, she summons this spirit who is going to assist her in her vengeance. And the thing is with voodoo, because voodoo is... It's not a simply defined concept. So I don't know for sure. I really don't. So I'm admitting up front my lack of total information. I don't know that these... Hold on, I'm going to look up. Who Baron Samdi? Sunday. I don't think I pronounced it correctly. Oh, my God. Sorry. Baron. I believe I'm spelling his name right, though. Samdi. All right. Oh, no. Not Nancy. I don't know why that spell corrected that. Baron. Okay. Baron. Well, this reads to me as Samedi, but I don't know English. Baron Saturday. Oh, interesting. Oh, Baron Samdi. Okay, here's different spelling. So, okay. He's Aloha, which are spirits. Many of the Loa derive their identities. Okay. Intermediaries between humanity and Bondi, a transcendent creator divinity. See, this is what I mean. I don't know I don't know if the word spirit is the same as what, sorry, I consider a spirit to be. Spirit to me is like a ghost. And it didn't feel like in the movie that that's exactly what he was supposed to be. Maybe he was, but he felt not quite like a ghost to me. He felt more like, I don't know, like an elemental part of nature. It's hard to describe. Because like I said, he didn't just come off as a phantom or anything like that. Definitely not. He seemed to have a very physical, earthly kind of mischievousness to him. Anyway, it's a delightful movie. But again, that's why I'm like, I don't know if I consider that purely supernatural. I mean, he does command an army of the dead. So they are indeed supernatural. So I guess it is. The second movie, which has a terrible title, but I promise you it is nowhere near. It's a very good movie with a terrible title, which is Dr. Black, Mr. Hyde. I really hate even saying that title because it's such a bad title. Compared to, there was an alternate title for the movie, The Watts Monster. Much better title. And it's a good movie. It's actually a really interesting interpretation of the Jekyll and Hyde story, which is a classic, a classic story for fiction, this idea of a kindly doctor who not really intentionally unleashes a part of himself that is truly monstrous. And this movie plays with that idea, but it brings in a concept. And I honestly I thought at first, when we were watching it, I didn't realize at first that it was a real thing. I thought it was a made-up word, because there's a character, and I will say, I wish the movie had taken just a few minutes to explain the concept of this thing. But there's this creature called a haint. H-A-I-N-T. Here, I will write it in case you're curious. So let me spell it right here. Okay, that's really hard to read. Sorry. H-A-I-N-T. Haint. That. And when the character said it, I really didn't realize the character was talking about a thing. I thought it was some kind of expression or, I thought, because it was a police officer who said it, so I thought maybe it was some kind of cop shorthand for something. But then, there's a very, very, I don't even know if I would say it's a correct explanation based on what I looked up because I read about it. But there was an explanation given of what a haint is. And essentially, it's a very specific cultural creature. And I say creature because I think that's the best word for what it is. And it is in fact it is a closer to a ghost in many ways than certainly Baron Samedi was, because it represents a haint is the kind of embodiment of a wronged individual. So kind of the classic idea that a haunting, a ghost, a kind of classic ghost, is supposed to be, usually it is a being who feels that they have unfinished business on Earth, and so they cannot pass into the next plane, or whatever you want to call it. And so the haint is kind of that, but with a much more specific cultural reference point. And so there's that thing, but again, the movie doesn't really explain it. The cop, the one cop, it's a black cop and a white cop, and the black cop says the word, and the white cop says, I have no idea what you're talking about, basically. And the black cop says it's a mix between the abominable snowman and Willie the werewolf. And even the Willie the werewolf, I don't know what Willie the werewolf is. I have no idea what that reference is. But it's too specific a name for me not to think it's referring to something. Because Willie the werewolf, it's a very strange thing for somebody to say if it doesn't refer to something. In any event, I looked it up and it is in fact a real thing. It is a real concept within a very specific community that has kept this mythology, traditions, ideas from Africa. They've brought those concepts over and they maintain them. And the Haint is a direct, is one of those direct holdovers. So fascinating. And then the main character, whose name is not, who is a doctor, but his name is not Dr. Black. It's Dr. Pride, Dr. Henry Pride, which I had said to my co-host. I said, okay, here's a better title. Dr. Pride, Mr. Hyde. It rhymes and it's more accurate. The Dr. Black thing is so bizarre to me because it just seems weird. I mean, it does feel like it is purely an effort to make people say, what is this? And come in and watch it. But now that it's long past being in theaters, I think the title works against it. I think it would make certain people avoid it because they would think it was going to be something really crass and tasteless. And it's not that. It really is not that. So again, I find that title to be disappointing because I think it limits, in a modern age, it's going to limit who's going to see it. Anyway, they didn't ask me, so what am I going to do about it? But the movie itself is really fascinating because it's not a kind of throwaway concept. They really do have this. The Dr. Pride character is fascinating because you sort of understand where his flaws come from. You know why he's doing what he's doing. And I think that really makes it something worth talking about, because otherwise, if it had just been as it seemed like it might be when I first looked at it, I thought, okay, this is literally just Jekyll and Hyde, and the gimmick, quote unquote, is that that it's a black doctor. That's all they've got here. No, that's not all they've got. They, in fact, have created a really wonderful backstory for this character that explains why he's doing what he's doing. And I think it works beautifully. It's really, genuinely a surprising movie because it's taking the idea so seriously. And again, when you see that title, and the year, frankly, you just don't, I don't like that line. You really don't expect that. It was such a refreshing movie to watch because it was trying to say, I think, and my co-host agrees, it's trying to say something. It's not just doing, oh, we're going to take Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and the only thing we're going to change is now they're black. That's it. No, they took that idea and they said, okay, well, if we're going to have a black character and we're going to do that change, what can we add from some part of, I don't like how it looks filled in. I think it's, hold on, I just got to fix it. I think it's this up here. I think it's got to round more, just like the other one's going to have more rounding to it. Instead of just doing, like I said, just doing a color swap, literally, skin color swap. The writers went, okay, we have to try to add something to this that reflects more than just the fact that this character that was white and British, I believe Dr. Jekyll was British. No, it can't just be that we've just changed the skin color. We have to add something. And they did. And it really makes the movie something interesting. Because it does leave some things open to interpretation. At the end, you'd have to sit there and go, huh, what actually happened here? What was this creature really? And I find that fascinating. I think that's really impressive. For, again, a movie with that title coming out at that time, when there were a lot of films of all types, to be fair, being made that were just trying to cash in on shock value and sleaze, and that's all they were doing. This movie was actually trying to say something, I think. And that makes it remarkable. Especially, again, because at that time, don't get me wrong, there were really good movies made in the 70s. I'm not saying that there weren't. Okay, I guess I like that. I did it twice now, so I guess I'm going to stick with it. But there were also a lot of movies that were just cheap, kind of, all right, sensationalist, let's get people in the theater kind of stuff. And, that is what I was expecting with this based on the title. And the fact that I'd never heard of it. It wasn't in high def or anything. So I thought, well, okay, maybe there's a reason that this thing isn't, you can't find it in a good copy. Oh, look at this. An idiot that I get to block. Boom. gone. Banned. Bye. Wow. I don't even know if the message showed up on the screen, which is delightful. See you later. Don't try to sell me viewers. I'm just going to ban you. I'm going to ban you, and I'm going to ban you fast. And I'm not going to feel bad about it. But anyway, yeah, I would definitely recommend it to people if you're interested. If it sounds at all, you know, interesting to you, you will probably get something out of it. I know we certainly did. We were both really, really pleasantly surprised by that movie. And we will be talking about it in our next show. It will absolutely be a topic of conversation because we were both really delightfully surprised by it. But this week is all just pure supernatural. Yep, just pure supernatural stuff. Not even messing around with it, just going full bore into it. Which I like horror stuff, so that's fine. And it's not, what's the word for it? It's not, the only thing I don't remember is I'm going to assume, that's the right word, I'm going to assume that Night of the Living Dead 90 probably has a lot more gore effects than a lot of stuff we watch because it was directed by Tom Savini. Did he also do the effects? Let me take a look. I'm curious about that. Hold on. Night of the Living Dead 90. Let's see. Let's have a look. Night of the Living Dead 1990. Directed by Tom Savini, who did the effects for and starring the magnificent Tony Todd. Just great. Let's see. I'm trying to see if he did the effects for it, though. Did he? Oh, wow. That's an interesting thing. Originally, it was supposed to start in black and white and then have color added. Wow. Tony Todd's first horror film? Really? That's amazing. I didn't know that. Huh. Wow. Interesting. Okay, hold on. I want to see if he did the effects, though. Where is... Just because now I'm curious about it. Here it is. All cast and crew. Let's take a look. Oh, sorry. Here. So you're not just looking at something terrible on the screen. Let's see. Who did the visual effects? Visual effects, please. Producers, composer, cinematographer, art direction, set direction, costume designer, makeup department. Wow. Well, okay, wait a minute. Did he not do the effects? It may have been his team, though. That's interesting. No, he is not. He is not listed in the special effects department. That is amazing. I just assumed he did. So maybe it won't be as gory as I think. I assumed he was doing the effects too, but he in fact is not. He did the effects for Dawn of the Dead. And I don't remember. I know he didn't do it for the original. I don't remember whether he did it for Day of the Dead. I want to say yes. I want to say he did, but I could be wrong about that. I know he did it from Dawn, and he's also in that movie. I just assumed he did them for the movie, but I guess if you're directing, you don't do the effects too. Maybe that would have been too much to do all of it. But again, it could have been his team, and I assume he had input on what he wanted to do. So I just kind of figured he'd also be involved in it, but at least he's not credited, and it is also possible he did, but didn't do the crediting because there's all these rules around, you know, what you can be credited for and everything, and you can only do so many. It's why a lot of the Italian films from the 80s, the director was also the editor, was also blah, 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 on and on and on, but they all had, you see all these different names because they had to cover it up. So they have these bogus American names where, you know, like Claudio Fragasso is also credited as Jimmy Stewart and stuff like that. You're just like, okay, got it. Yeah, I know what's going on here. Because a lot of times they would use the same names over and over, and so it became a little bit easy to figure out after just a few movies. But yeah, okay. So there we got some reflection work on there. We probably should do a darker version of this color. So let's knock this down a bit, and then let's go down. Where is that color anyway? Is that this? No. Where is it? Here it is. I'll bet. That's it. Let's go on top of that. We'll do an assist. Let's throw some darker colors in here. Like that. Oh, that's very close to that. Whoa, wait a minute. Where'd that color come from? Where is that? What is that? Hold on. Did I miss something here? Hold on. Yeah, I did. Oh, weird. Completely missed that little bit. There we go. When I redrew it, I must have missed that was there. Okay, back to that color, which is this here. Okay, so this. Let's color this a little bit, and then we'll just knock it down. Maybe 45. There we go. Yeah, 45's good. That'll work. There we go. There we go. Yeah, and then we can do... Actually, no. Sorry. I put that in the wrong spot. Right color, wrong spot. Should be here. Yeah, this is where I want it. This is where I want it. This big area here. So yeah, we'll be watching Blackula in, just about an hour. So I do need to get ready to wrap this up and get prepped for doing the commentary, which will be a blast. So actually, we'll finish this. And then let's do one other thing. Let's go ahead and let's do a layer on top of... Oh, I'm out of layers. Okay. Hold on, I gotta look at something really quick. This is... Yeah, that's something. Let's see. What is this? And that's a white... Those are white lines. Where's that? I can't even see where that is. What is that? Is that just those? Yeah, it is. Weird. I don't know that those need to be their own lines anymore. Where's the other ones? Wait a minute, where are the other ones? Hold on. Oh, yeah. Okay, well that doesn't have to be by itself anymore. That 47 can go up here. And go with the other 47. Merge down. Those 47s can be together. Okay. So now let's go up one and let's do just a quick, let's give this, oops, not that. Let's take this color, do that. Let's knock that color down. Again, we'll do a 45, something easy. And let's just do like, this is going to almost be like a crystalline thing. Oops. Oh. Hold on, I didn't sample the color after I did that. So let's go to 40. 40 is good, so see, that worked out. Now sample the color. Now erase. There we are. And now let's just kind of do something like that. Or no, not like that. Sorry. That's very kind of old style comic book crystalline thing. In fact, I don't even need to do a turn the assist off. This should just be a circle. Right? Ellipse that or circle that. Grab it, center place it. Actually, wait a minute. Let me look at something. It should go the other way. I did it backwards. So they're going, wait a minute, why does it look wrong? Because it was backwards. It should be like this. It should be the bottom of it. Right? And then we'll center that. Oh, I forgot I did it in the same layer. You can't do it that way. Hold on. I can't do it that way because of the center layer. Because I'm out of layers. Hold on. Oy, this is the problem. Just got too many friggin' layers. Well, you know what? Oh. What is this? Hold on. Oh, it's just those? It's just those circles? Okay, well, that's literally all it is. All right, that can come down here. Put that into the actual face. Those aren't changing. Put that there. Merge down. Okay. Now, I have to do another layer. And then I have to do a bottom circle. Actually, maybe an ellipse is good for this, to have like a curve to it. Well, no, it isn't, because it can't. There's no way I'll make it even. So we'll just do a circle. Do that. No. Ugh. Hold on. Okay. Oop. And circle. Sorry, I hit the right into the mic. So we'll do one there. Oh, no. I'm not trying to change the size. Why can't I center this now? Hold on. Why is it not centering? There. Center it. Right. And then we'll do a... So I'm going to go back to this, which I want to turn the assist on. And now we'll just give that a bit of a wave. Or not a wave. Sorry. We'll give it more like this. No, not like that. Ah, yes, I got it. Kind of the counter circle. Right. That's all going to get filled in. That's going to be on the bottom. We'll do a little bit of a wave in there. And okay, so now let's get the brush. We're going to fill that in. We're going to fill all this in. And it doesn't matter if it's really perfect, because again, it doesn't matter. Although that part, I do like this little curve here, so I'm going to keep that. Right. Let's get this brush back. Do that. Keep that there. Right. Well, I guess it wouldn't have this on the bottom. It would just be like that. Yeah, that's better for like a crystalline thing. Okay. Yeah, we're good with that. So now we can merge those together. And there we go. And it's not done, as I knew it wouldn't be, because of course not, but it's getting there. It's getting there. But on that note, we are at an hour about, and I have to get prepped, so let me do this. And we'll turn all this stuff off. But we're getting there. It's moving along, which is what, that's all I can do is keep it moving along, and it is doing that. So, yeah. Well, everybody, thank you for hanging out, as I spent a ton of time not getting what seems like much done on my image, but what else is new? Appreciate you coming by, and if you're watching this later, I appreciate that too. I am not a person who gets all that concerned about live numbers. So I do a live stream, but I assume most people watch it later, and that's perfectly okay with me. So thank you whenever you're finding this, unless you're selling users, in which case, get lost. I got no interest in you. But beyond that, if you're just hanging out to watch art and hang out, that's great. Welcome. And yeah, that's going to be it. So as I try to always remember to do, and I'm generally pretty good about it, I want to remind you that you should take the time to support a creator that you enjoy. I'm not talking about me. I'm doing okay. But there are a lot of creators out there who are trying to make a living at being creative. And the reality is that is an exceptionally difficult thing to do. Generally in history, it has been. There have been these rare times, where being an artist, if you could find a patron or a wealthy backer, or your stuff just got popular, then you could make a living at it. But generally, it's pretty tough. And, with all these generative tools and all this stuff going on, it doesn't seem like it's going to get any easier anytime soon. So in whatever way you can support a creator that you enjoy, take the time to support a creator that you enjoy. And that can be monetary, if you have the money to support them by a donation or something like that, or buying their work. Yeah, do that. Absolutely do that. But it doesn't have to be that. It can be that you just reshare their work so other people can see it. So people who may have money that they can spend will do it. And you've still basically delivered that help to that person. Just because it wasn't you, it doesn't mean you didn't get their stuff in front of the right set of eyes. So again, that's valuable. You follow them so that they can see that their work is valued by somebody. Even just a follow number. Even if you never comment, never say anything, just them seeing that people are following them and looking at their stuff is really, really important to a lot of artists. And if you can't do any of that, then send a note. And it doesn't have to be a novel. Just send a sentence or two saying, oh, I really like your work, and I just wanted to let you know. That's it. That sentence alone, depending on, because there are artists who will get to points where they wonder if they should just stop. Happens to most artists who are not immediately successful, will have points in their life where they're going to sit there and go, I don't know whether I should even bother doing this. Does anybody even care? Which is a terrible thing, because all art is valuable and all people's output and their perspectives are all valuable, but it's very easy to lose sight of that. So just you sending a note to those people could do a lot for them. It seems like it's not much, and there are people who get held up and they're like, well, if that's all I can do, I'm not going to bother. That's nothing. It's not nothing. It's not nothing. It matters. So whatever you can do, take a few minutes and do it. It really is that important, and it's something that, you know, we should all try to do for each other in terms of supporting each other. So on that note, I'm going to get out of here. So again, support a creator that you enjoy, because it's really easy to just assume they're always going to be there. And you never know, one day they might not be for whatever reason. So while you're thinking of it, while you can, while you have the ability and it's on your mind, take that time and do that thing. It does matter. All right, I'm getting out of here. So thanks for being here. Live or later doesn't matter to me. And until the next stream, I appreciate you stopping by. Until next time, take care.